Hello, my fellow time loopers stuck in an infinite repetition of pain and suffering. I noticed a while ago that while most stories involving time loops do explore what it's like to go through a seemingly never-ending amount of repetition, it's actually, pretty rare for us to then see the potential struggles of what it's like returning to normalcy after escaping. This is probably because, duh, it's the whole point of a fucking plot. So whatever happens afterwards is of seemingly way less importance to what's being explored, but I kinda just completely disagree with that sentiment. It's similar to how most romance anime just stop right after the main couple gets together. I understand the main premise of the show is gone, but let's explore the potential struggles of this new relationship, man. There's a ton of value to be explored here. One of the things I appreciate most about Madoka's sequel movie, Rebellion, other than the uniquely gorgeous studio shaft directing, I mean seriously, look how great this looks, is the sheer amount of care dedicated to exploring what Homura's mind looks like after spending over a decade obsessing over one singular goal. Lesbian sex. So, with the next movie maybe, hopefully, possibly releasing within the next few months, I thought we might as well take a closer look at this schizophrenia patient, and then be completely wrong about everything once the new movie releases, and it's revealed that Homura is actually a lizard person or something. So, to recap what happens in the first 12 episodes of Madoka, I'm not gonna do that, because I'm too lazy and that's boring, so fuck you. At the start of Madoka Rebellion, we're essentially, at least in terms of character development, set back to the Homura before she became crazy edgy bitch lady. And as we slowly realize how wrong everything feels, Homura's memories of the past loops pile back on, and she changes back to the Homura we all know. No, not you. This essentially works as a microcosm of the changes Homura went through because of her looping within the main series. Except this time, the actual end result of her gaining all these memories is kinda different in one deciding factor. Madoka exists. And that really is the deciding factor. Homura is absolutely obsessed with Madoka. I doubt anyone watching this video could even conceive the absolute horror of living your life trapped pursuing the goal of saving someone for 12 whole years, only for them to then sacrifice themselves for the apparent greater good, which seemingly completely nullifies your original desire. It's a desire so strong, it becomes part of your very identity. As a result of the time loop, Madoka has essentially become Homura's god. She has quite literally become her sole purpose for existing. This is a pretty classic question posed in many forms of media. Allow the world to rob you of your value, or destroy the world and make it yours. Homura is stuck in a moral dilemma of choosing between her own desires and the desires of the rest of the universe. Now, normally, the correct choice would be clear. But here's the thing. The desire to save Madoka in itself has been promoted to be as strong, if not even stronger, than the desires or wishes of the rest of the world. Quite literally, the concept of karmic destiny explored in episode 11 of the original series demonstrates this. The universe itself is entirely concentrated on this one wish of Homura to save Madoka. This state of moral paralysis is, I think, the only reason she doesn't immediately turn into evil devil lady Homura. She already has the power to do so because the karmic destiny of her wish should be just as great as Madoka's. Now that Homura's memories have returned while in this witch's labyrinth, she can properly visualize what her perfect outcome, a world with a saved Madoka, would have looked like. And what's more, she can speak to the very person whose choice is causing her all this turmoil. Which is where we get to this infamous scene with Madoka and Homura's conversation on a hill of flowers. Some people say this scene makes no sense. It ruins Madoka's sacrifice and what that means for her as a character. To which I say, fuck you! Just because a character is built up to making an amazing selfless choice of sacrifice doesn't mean they would pick that in every circumstance. Through this conversation, Homura comes to the likely wrongful conclusion that Madoka truthfully would have regretted her choice, and thus Homura's wish of saving Madoka gets warped and takes on a new meaning. Stop Madoka's selfless sacrifice. There is no confusion anymore. She has fully convinced herself that Madoka's wish is harmful towards Madoka herself. Once this scene happens, in my opinion, nothing this little shit Kyubey does would have been anywhere near powerful enough to stop her. We might feel like we're in a state of danger during the rest of the movie, but the reality is that two of the most powerful lesbians in the whole universe have the same goal: break Homura out of Kyubey's cage. And that is indeed what happens. Everyone lives happily ever after. Except now we get to quite possibly the most controversial ending of any anime movie ever. The reason for this divide in the fandom is, well, pretty obvious. This is a pretty damn huge twist considering we're 20 minutes away from the credits rolling. The movie is already intentionally pretty confusing during a first watch, so I can't exactly blame people for getting caught off guard. Now, personally, I obviously think this is the only right outcome for the story of these two characters. Except I actually just lied, don't trust me, because the reality is that this wasn't the originally intended conclusion, according to this interview everyone cites. Here, the scriptwriter speaks about how he was essentially pressured into making the ending more open-ended for a sequel. In other words, this means the movie's ending was just shoved in at the very end to give Studio Shaft an opportunity to milk the series more later on. Except I actually just lied again. I told you not to trust me, because as it turns out, in the very same interview, literally one question later, he clarifies that this was all before he even finished a first draft, let alone the actual damn script of a movie. Yet people still cite this interview as some kind of explanation for why the ending is seemingly bad. Anyways, I love Madoka Magica's sequel movie Rebellion. It might as well be my favorite movie. The directing puts you directly into the mind of Homura, a mind so burdened with memories from a torturous, seemingly never-ending repetition of events, resulting from a single small wish to simply save a friend. And the most fascinating thing about this movie is how much it manages to explore despite seemingly abandoning the initial plot of the series and going out of bounds. And I really wish more stories would try to do this. Thanks for watching. Shaft better release that movie soon, it's been 10 fucking years. Oi, so you might have noticed that this is the first video on the channel. If you want to see more of this kind of content, like and sub would be much appreciated. This video was heavily inspired by Kexi's schizophrenic editing style, so check his channel out if you want to see more of this kind of content. Thank you for watching, and if we have a connection, let's meet again.